Okay, so one of the first things you want to do when you start a ball of yarn is find the end. Now, you could start from the outside, and here's the end on the outside. Not a big fan of doing that myself. A lot of people do that, but then I find I have to put the ball of yarn in something like a bowl or something so that it doesn't roll away. If you start from the center, you'll have a lot more luck keeping it in place. The problem with starting with the center is that you can sometimes pull out like half the ball of yarn before you actually find the end. That time I was pretty lucky, found the end pretty quickly. Sometimes you'll honestly pull out half the yarn and you'll learn quickly. That's called yarn barf, and it's super fun to untangle. So, basics of crochet, and from all the people I've talked to, all the people I've tried to show this to, everyone finds that the hardest thing to learn is the chain at the beginning. Okay, so I'm actually going to start right around here. I'm going to leave myself a nice little tail. Okay, and I'm going to make a slip knot. So I'm going to just put 2 fingers here, wrap the yarn around, and pull a piece through. Okay, let me show you that one more time. 2 fingers, turn it, and then pull a piece through. Again, lots of really slow, awesome tutorials about that online. I don't feel like I showed that to you the absolute best. Let me try it from another angle here. So again, I'm going to wrap it around, turn it, and then I'm going to grab the bottom here. There we go. That's a better angle, and pull that through. Okay, so that's a slip knot. Then you're going to stick the hook in there and just pull it tight. Okay, not too tight. In fact, that is one of the biggest errors, and why chaining is so hard and crocheting can be hard for people is because they're going too tight. So just hold this tail here just to keep it steady. You're not pulling hard on it, but just hold it. I usually do like middle finger and thumb, and then I start crocheting. Okay, so I've got the main yarn wrapped around my index finger and the tail here between my thumb and my middle finger. What I'm going to do, I gotta get a better grip on it here. There we go. Is I'm gonna yarn over. So to yarn over, you just go over your hook with your yarn, and then you're gonna use that hook to grab it and pull it through that slip knot. And again, you're not pulling hard. You're not being tight with this. Okay, let me zoom in a little closer so you can see what I'm up to here. Okay, let's do it again. We're gonna yarn over and then gently just pull it through. Yarn over and gently pull it through. Gentle is the key here, people. We don't want to be too tight with this, or it's going to be really hard to get our first row done. So let's keep going. And honestly, it's a dishcloth. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be a specific length. I'm just going to go until I'm kind of happy with the length that I've got. Okay, so maybe we're gonna make a small one for the sake of this tutorial, okay? So what do I have here? So to count how many chains you've got, you notice how the chains make sort of a V shape? So just count those V's. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so that last one there is actually gonna count as something different at the beginning of every row, and I'll explain that in a moment. It's kind of hard to tell with your first one, but that last one is not going to be an actual stitch. So really, this is going to be 16 stitches long. I'm going to zoom out a little tiny bit. There we go, so we're not blurring so much. Now what I'm going to do, ooh, this might be harder to see because of the blue. I was hoping you could see it clearly. Okay, so this part might be a little bit hard to see because the blue ended up right at the end. So for the sake of the tutorial, I'm actually going to back up a little bit and then I'll redo that afterwards. So let's go where you can see it going into the white, okay? So here's the last little V on my hook. I'm going to skip that one so you can kind of tell. I kind of like where I pulled the yarn out to here because I've got the dark blue on the hook now. The last little V is kind of a light blue. We're going to go into that next one, which is a white one. Okay, so we're going to skip the light blue one and go into the next one and just stick your yarn through the top of the V, or one half of the V, let's call it. Wrap your yarn around your hook, so yarn over and pull it through that hole. Now you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and that is a single crochet. So we'll do that again. Let's put the yarn through the top half of that V, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through both hoops and another single crochet. Let's do that again. yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through both. So at the end of every single crochet, you've got one hook or one loop left on your hook. So let's keep going. So you're going to do this all the way down the row. I had to untangle there, so here we go. Now, if this is your very first time trying this, do not be alarmed if they're all different sizes. That's why I said that a dishcloth is kind of the best thing you can start with, because it can be imperfect. That's okay. All right, this is kind of what it should look like at the end. All right, so I'm not going to bother counting. You know, I pulled out some of it. I will go back and I will redo the rest of those and do a couple of rows for you. But first, let me show you how to do the next row. So you are going to, you've got one loop on your hook at the end here. Okay, you've done your last single crochet. You're going to yarn over and just pull through. And that's called a chain one. Okay, so you chained this whole bottom row here, and then you left one at the beginning and went into the next one. So that counted as a chain one. At the beginning of every row, you're going to chain one. Then you're going to turn your yarn around. And now you can see your single crochets actually have those V's on the top. So you're going to put the yarn through both sides of that little V, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through two. Again, put your hook through the entire V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And you just keep going across. And as you get across to the end, you'll chain one, turn around and come back. Now, everybody tends to find when they start crocheting that everything ends up in a wonky shape. So figure out how many chains you started with, okay? And one less than that should be the number of stitches in every row. Be back with you soon.